Sack Life, beat depression. It's day 678, and I feel great. And today, we're going to keep it that way with another somatic healing session to wipe out depression. Thank you guys so much for being here. Anyone who's here now, anyone who's tuning in later. As you know, we start every single show with that powerful mental health tool of gratitude. Gratitude going out to you guys and girls out there. To the first one in, Simonamaze, thank you for being here. Thank you for that support. Also want to shout out gratitude to Rook of Rookwave Switch for lending us the space, helping me stay out of the heat as I find a way to repair this bus. And I want to give you guys an update on that. But go ahead and think about the thing that you're grateful for today, and that'll help put you in that positive mindset before we move into today's lesson. If you've been following the journey, you know the Beat Depression bus has been stranded here in Las Vegas for almost 2 months now. And we were supposed to be doing some motor repairs and getting it back on the road. They didn't work out. And what happened was I reached out to a company that was going to put a modern Subaru engine in there so we could be reliable, wouldn't have to worry about breaking down on the next trip back across America. And I talked to the company. They told me pull the motor out, label all the wires, and then I could ship it to them, which I did. Pulled the motor, labeled the wires, and then they ghosted me. For the last 7 days, I haven't heard anything from them, can't get in contact with them. So I've been stuck out here motorless and kind of semi-stranded again. For some reason, the business doesn't want my money or my service. They're just not answering any form of communication. So those are the struggles. That's the current struggle for you guys, for those who are asking questions and wondering why I'm still here. But that being said, that's some negative news. The good news is we've got each other, right? We've got our social support system. I'm grateful for that. We're here every day at the same time building each other up and finding ways to move forward no matter what it is we're dealing with, right? So it's just a matter of time. I know I'll find a way to sort this thing out. And if you guys know, I'm reaching out through you, if you guys know anyone in your community that does motor swaps for vintage Volkswagen buses, let me know in the DM. Because I'm looking for somebody. I'm ready to pay. I'm ready to ship. I'm ready to roll ahead. But I just got screwed over. It happens sometimes. But gratitude going out to you guys. Gratitude going out to the social support system. Gratitude to Rook for being patient and understanding and lending us the space to stay cool out of that desert heat and continue to put on the show so we can help one another. Those are my pieces of gratitude to date. Also want to shout out to everybody else who's in here now. Lisa the Luminary, Ree Brickman, Mad with Hats, and that's it? Is that it? Yes. That's it for now. Thank you guys so much for being here. Mad with Hats said, grateful for the ability to be. Grateful that people are helping make this happen and keeping sure you're safe. Me too, man. And that's important. When we focus in on those silver linings, it really does make life more enjoyable. It makes it easier to find them. And there was a study showing that just asking ourselves a question, what do I have to be grateful for, can help rewire the brain into a more positive direction and make it easier and easier to find those silver linings, giving us a more positive perspective on life and helping us enjoy a better quality of life. So that's just that one gratitude tool. We're going to talk about some other tools now. The list tool, keeping track of your progress, your daily goal accomplishment. If you're doing this show, each day that you get up and you fight forwards for yourself in this class, you're improving your body, you're improving your mind, but you're also doing it in the face of anything that's trying to tell you that you can't, any opposition from anxiety or depression. Shout out to Smiling Shelly. Appreciate you, Shelly. Can't wait to get back to the East Coast. Do some training together. Maybe hit those nightclubs. Have a good time. I need to party. Sackman needs to party sometimes. Can't be all work and no play, right? Thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting. It's day 678. We're talking about that progress tracking tool. It's day 678 of consecutive training for me, Sackman. It's 678 steps forwards. Let me know how many days it's been for you. Keeping track of that progress builds up in the mind into more confidence, self-esteem, and self-validation, which is something that nobody and no thing can take away from you because you're the only one who can give it to yourself. So please do keep track of that number. It's very powerful. It can be an anchor on bad days when you wake up and you're not sure if you're feeling those lies setting in from depression, telling you what you can't do or you can't get out of bed. You look at that number and you know for damn sure what you can do and what you're going to do and what you can look forward to doing in the future. So please do keep track of that number and share it with others, because it'll help inspire them or motivate them to make those changes in their lives as well. Start a self-care routine that works for them and find those tools that work for them. That is the list tracking tool. If you do have a number, let us know about it. It's always motivational. So I appreciate you guys and girls out there for sharing those. That being said, we talked about lists, talked about gratitude, social support, all the good stuff. Now let's get into the lesson. Today we're going to do Muay Thai. We're going to practice from Muay-Thai Stance, but we're going to practice from a different Muay-Thai stance than we've been training in the last several days. So if you've been training with us for the last I want to say, maybe 300 days, we've been practicing from a balanced Muay-Thai stance. It's a very popular one. You see it often in the UFC, in the MMA, and in Muay Thai competitions. But there are actually other stances within Muay Thai that have different pros and cons. The one we're going to use today is a more defensive-based stance, and it's also supposedly a more traditional stance. So the differences there, shout out to Kura Mamalik, thank you for being here. The differences here is in our modern balanced stance, we're nice and centered, chin is centered, and those feet are evenly spaced apart, and we evenly displace our weight across them. With the defensive stance, it's a little bit different. We still have this guard, right? We could start from modern balance like you guys are used to. And what we're going to do from here is we're going to shift our body weight back onto the rear leg. We're going to turn that foot out and plant it flat. Normally we're up on the balls of the feet, right, for balance, keeping the knees bent, keeping the weight on the balls of the feet. For defensive stance, we're going to plant that back foot flat. We're going to shift about 80% of our weight on that flat back foot and have it turned out. Now the front foot is just going to carry about 20% of weight on it, and we're going to keep the whole rhythm. You know that rhythm where we normally shift from front to back? We're going to keep that whole rhythm just bouncing on the lead knee. Stepping that lead knee out. Let's return to a neutral stance, a nice square, balanced neutral stance, and we'll set it up from there. From here, your dominant hand is going to be where your rear leg is. Go ahead and turn that rear foot out about 90 degrees, close to it. Just turn it out to a nice comfortable position. Shift your body weight onto that foot, letting that foot fall flat, right? Most of our weight is there. Now from here, we're not going to lean forwards or move our body forwards. We're just going to step that front foot out. Just go ahead and step it out nice and light on the ball of the foot. Turn the foot out so the hips open up for kicks. And this is our stance. Roll those shoulders up, curl the hips forward. Chin tucked, guard is high. But now, we're keeping that rhythm with just that one foot, right on the ball of the foot. You can roll the fist too in this stance. It's a nice planted stance. Leave a little tiny bit of bend in that rear leg for balance. And we're going to keep our weight mostly on that rear foot, right? Mostly on the rear foot, just carrying the balance on that front foot. Now, some of the advantages of this stance, they call it a more defensive-based stance, because it does lower your mobility a little bit. It'll slow down the cross. But some of the things that it speeds up and some of the advantages it brings is it makes that lead teep, boom, very easy. Very easy to execute, very fast. And that lead teep is a powerful tool. We know it can create a lot of distance, whoosh, create a lot of distance between us and our opponent. It can be used a lot of different ways. You can teep to the kneecap if you'd like to disable them, teep to the groin, teep to the head, teep to the chest. So that lead teep becomes much faster, much more accessible on the fly in the spur of the moment. So if you're in a defensive situation and that enemy's coming in, you go into defensive stance, whoosh, boom, you've got that lead teep ready to go, ready to fire. Another one of the benefits here, a defensive benefit, is that in modern Muay Thai, or balanced Muay Thai stance, we check with each independent leg for each side that kick's coming in on. But in the defensive stance, we're going to use that same front leg. There's a dog in here. In defensive stance, we're going to use that same front leg to check kicks on both sides. So the way we're going to do this is we've got our weight still. Again, balance on that back foot, right? Guard's nice and high. When the kick's coming in from this side, it's the same thing. We're bringing that knee up to the inside of the arm, inside of the elbow, creating that shell, right? Boom, boom, boom. When the leg kick is coming in from the opposite side, all we're going to do is bring that knee up, whoosh, boom, to this side now. That leg's nice and light, boom. So it's very easy to quickly curl in and just use that front leg to block on both sides. Also kind of changes that thinking pattern. You don't have to be thinking about which leg to raise. You're always blocking it with this one. 1, 2, boom. Try and point that toe down when you bring that knee up, making that surface nice and sharp, nice and pointy. So we're going to practice some of those defensive benefits. The lead teeps nice and fast, so we'll practice that lead teep in different areas. We'll also practice jab and cross because those are our fundamentals. And we'll practice check and kicks on both sides using just that lead leg, taking advantage of that defensive stance and showing you guys the benefits there. So it's fun to find different stances, cross-train or train in different gyms or with different coaches, because you'll find each one will bring their flavor of Muay Thai. It's not necessarily wrong or right, there's just a lot of variety available, and the more you learn, the more adaptable you can be to any given situation. So find the martial arts that you enjoy the most and that's right for you, and go for it. And if you don't like it, switch. There's plenty of options out there, plenty of ways to grow. All of them come with a really cool social support system, like-minded individuals who are thinking about growth, thinking about making progress, and in general, they want to see you do better. People in the martial arts community want you to do better so that they can do better, right? When they're training with a partner, if the partner doesn't know what they're doing, it's not really helping them increase their skill level. But once you become skilled, now they've got a challenge. Now their level can go up as well, and it becomes all mutually beneficial. Shout out as well to Slayer Ken, Lupine Ken, for being here at 288 days. Thanks for sharing that progress. Appreciate you, brother. That's 288 days of consecutive progress and success for Ken. Good stuff, man. You're crushing those goals. Keep going. So, that being said, we talked about defensive Muay Thai. That's what we're doing today. It's a defensive stance. The top of the body is pretty much the same. We're still squaring the hips and shoulders. Shoulders rolled, chin tucked, guard high, right? But our weight this time is going on a flat rear foot. That's the main difference. We're carrying the rhythm on the front foot. Boom, boom. And when we move around, we're gonna move around kind of the same way that we move with modern Muay Thai. Just instead of bouncing back and forth, we're just carrying that rhythm on that front leg. So let's get into it. To make it more effective for mental health, we're going to visualize our opponent, just like we do in all striking, shadow boxing training. We're going to visualize that opponent, but we're going to assign it the name of the thing we want to work on. If it's depression or anxiety, make that your depression dummy, your anxiety dummy, and we're going to knock those lies right out of its face. Boom. Today from defensive Muay Thai stance. Get ready. We've got our standard rounds, 3 rounds, 3 minutes each, 1 minute break to catch your breath, drink some water, and check in on you. Make sure you're not overreaching, because the goal is mental health and not physical progress. We want to make sure we don't push too hard. Tune into you. Make sure that you're not feeling lightheaded, dizzy, or nauseous. Those are all signs of overreaching. You'll want to dial intensity back. Let's do this thing. Oh. And remember, you can push to your skill level by moderating 3 things. Speed, boom, energy behind, body weight behind those punches, and volume of punches. If I'm doing a 1-2, you can turn it into a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can turn it into as many hit combo as you want, as many as you need to get that challenge going for yourself. You gotta challenge yourself, otherwise you won't see that growth. Let's do it. Let's get into stance. Visualize that opponent. Make sure you got water on hand. You're staying hydrated. And sorry, I was just making sure they weren't towing my bus. Pop into stance. This time we're shifting that weight onto the back foot about 80%. Flat foot, bring the guard up high by the brow line. Step that front foot out, and we're going to start carrying that rhythm with the body weight planted on that rear foot. First thing we're going to do is toss a jab. Right from the shoulder, toss a quick jab out there. 1 and back, 2 and back. Through the shoulder and hip, we still rotate. Boom, on the ball of that front foot, but this time, that rear foot is planted, foot pointing out to open up those hips. Keep that balance going, find that rhythm, and boom, back. Boom, back. Turn that fist over for the jab. We're in our defensive stance. We're not lunging forwards. We're just keeping it nice and balanced. Keeping our guard high, ready to strike. Visualize that opponent coming in, stepping into range. Once he's in range, twist through the hips and shoulders. Extend that fist forward. Turn the fist over, landing on large 2 knuckles. with the thumb tucked, proper form. Keep that wrist straight. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Back to stance. Now we're going to add in the cross, and you're going to notice with that cross, it's going to take a little bit longer to toss than in our balance stance. Let's do it. Jab, twist through the hip, rotate, boom, through the hip and through the ball of that rear foot for the cross. When we toss that cross, we're going to have to come off of that flat foot. Toss the jab, lift the rear heel, and turn on that rear foot. We're shifting our body weight into the balance stance when we throw the cross. So jab from defensive, twist through, boom, into balance stance for the cross. Back to defensive stance. Carry that rhythm. And jab, rotate through for the cross. Whoosh! There, keep that chin tucked into the shoulder guard high on the opposite side. And back to stance, back to defensive. Jab, boom. Rotate through for the cross. Whoosh! Right there. And back to stance. Jab, cross, boom, back to stance. Jab, cross, boom, back to stance. And keep that bounce going, keep that flow going. We're going to start checking some kicks. Let's do that lead check. Boom, there it is. Boom. Now we're going to do that lead check on the opposite side. Same leg, checks those kicks. Let's do it. Boom, bring that knee up to the inside of the elbow. Pointing the toe down. Keeping that balance mostly on the rear foot. Let's check both sides. Check, check. Boom, back to stance. Check, check. Back to stance. Check, check. Back to stance, keep it balanced, and jab cross, back to stance, double check, back to stance, and that's the end of round 1. Catch your breath, drink some water. We'll pick up some intensity in round 2. We're going to start adding that lead teep in there, and we might move around a bit. We're focusing really in on changing that balance and shifting over to that defensive stance. So you guys can see the different benefits of different stances within that Muay Thai genre. When I was training with the champ, he also mentioned an offensive stance, which I have not ever practiced in, but it's apparently more on the lead foot, more aggressive, more forwards momentum there. And it's something I'll look into in the future when I want to take that skill set to the next level. For now, we're going to practice that defensive. Make sure you're tuning into you. Drinking water, staying hydrated, and giving yourself a challenge to your level. With consistency, we can guarantee growth, we can guarantee progress, and as that skill level goes up, we can increase that challenge, knock those limits right out of the way. Let's go back into stance, defensive stance. Turn that rear foot, plant the weight, 80% of the weight on a flat, planted rear foot. Little bit of bend in that knee, curled hips, curled shoulders, chin tucked, guard high. We're stepping that front foot out, not to hold our balance, just to maintain our rhythm and put us in a nice defensive stance here. You can roll those hands, bounce that front knee, keeping the ball of the foot in contact with the ground. We're going to start talking about the lead teep. So from here, we've already got our weight shifted back. Should be much easier to bring that lead teep up and then exhale, whoosh, out like you're pushing on a gas pedal there. When we push with the foot, we want to push with the ball of that foot, curl the toes back towards you, whoosh, boom, and back to stance. Keep it nice and balanced on that rear foot, carry that rhythm, lead teep, whoosh, boom, there it is. We chop the arm at the same time as the leg goes out to keep that balance, and back into guard. Let's toss the jab cross here, whoosh, whoosh, back to stance, lead teep, whoosh, boom, back to stance. And for that lead teep, see the arm chop, boom, at the same time. The hips are still driving forwards, the shoulders are still going backwards as a counterbalance. Put that weight into the kick. Let's show you from the side, lead teep, boom, and back to stance, lead teep, and back to stance, lead teep, and back to stance, lead teep, and back to stance. Bounce that front knee to carry the rhythm, lead teep, and back to stance. Chin tuck, shoulders go back, hips go forwards for that lead teep. Square up, jab cross, let's do it. Whoosh, whoosh. Back to stance, lead teep, and back, lead teep, and back. If you've got the flexibility and reach, teep to the head if you'd like. Lead teep to the head, boom, and back. Lead teep to the head, and back. Lead teep to the head, and back. Back to square, balanced, defensive stance. Let me reset that brain. Jab, cross, whoos, whoos. Visualize that opponent. Visualize making contact with his face and knocking those lies out. Jab, cross, jab, cross, jab, cross. Lead teep him out of here. Whoos. Back to stance. Keep it balanced on that rear foot. Lead teep. Whoos. And back. Let's hit those kneecaps. Let's fight dirty. Lead teep, drive it right in to the opposite kneecap. Kind of an angle, whoosh, right there, and back in. We're gonna knock that kneecap out of alignment, take out their mobility. Jab, cross, whoosh, whoosh. Square up, balance on that rear foot, teep to the knee, whoosh. Boom, nice and fast, whoosh. Bam, nice and fast, whoosh. Right into that knee, back to stance, and that's the end of round 2. Catch your breath, drink some water. We'll bring in those checks, those kick checks, along with the teep and the jab cross, put everything together in this third and final round. Woo. And as always, push to your level, give yourself a challenge. And if you're enjoying this class or feeling the benefits to it, please let the world know on Sack Life Daily. All these shows are uploaded directly to YouTube once we're done with the live section. And YouTube is accessible to everyone, regardless of their social platform. So we know depression doesn't discriminate. Depression is not restricted to one group. We want to bring those tools out to everybody who can need it. So if you've got a good experience, please do share it on Sack Life Daily on YouTube.com. We've got 6 seconds and we're getting back into it. Remember, we're going with that rear foot turned out, weight placed on a flat foot for this one. A little bit of bend in the back knee. Stepping that front foot out, we're not leaning our body weight forward, our body weight's still back there. Nice and light on the ball of the foot, balance that knee, carry the rhythm in the hands and the knee, and jab cross, let's do it. Back to stance, now we're gonna check on both sides. Bring that knee up to the inside, goes back down, bring the knee up to the inside on the other side, and back down. Check both attacks from that one knee, nice and fast. Let's do it again. Boom, back to stance, keep the ball of the foot in contact with the ground, and back to stance. Bounce that knee, carry rhythm, double check, let's do it. And back to stance, double check. And back to stance, double check. Back to stance and lead teep. Whoosh! Bam, back in, jab cross, boom, boom. Back to stance, back foot planted flat. Body weight's mostly there. Front's just carrying that rhythm. Lead teep, let's go. Whoosh! Bam, right to the center mass. One more time, lead teep. Whoosh! Boom, there it is, jab cross. Square through, jab cross. Visualize that opponent, let's hit him in the face. And let's move around a bit with it. Step forward, boom, bring that foot up. Jab cross, whoosh, whoosh. Back to stance, step forwards. Rear foot comes up, jab cross, whoosh, whoosh. Turn those fists over, chin tuck, jab cross. Exhale hard through those strikes, inhale through the nose. Movement is the same, one foot moves at a time. We're just staying out in our defensive stance instead of that balanced stance. Bring that rear foot flat and turn for opening up those hips, carrying those kicks through. Jab cross, back to stance, lead teep. Whoosh, there it is. Double check, boom, check 1, check 2. Tuck that chin on the check, exhale hard on the check as well. 1, 2. Inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth. Jab cross, square up, lead teep. Whoosh, boom, jab cross, whoosh, whoosh. Square up, lead teep. Whoosh, bam, there it is. Exhale hard through the jab cross. Back to stance, exhale hard through the lead teep. Boom, there it is. Teep the groin, aim for the groin, fight dirty. Whoosh, to the groin, back to stance. Teep the kneecap. Whoosh, there it is. Teep the head. Whoosh, bam, there it is. Exhale hard on those strikes, chin tuck for balance. Keep those hands going, knee going. Jab cross, let's go. Square up, jab cross. Let's work on horizontal, 1 foot at a time. Boom, and step, jab cross. Back to defensive stance, 1 foot at a time. Boom, and step. Jab cross, lead teep. Whoosh, bam, check those kicks. Check 1, check 2. Square up, and that's the end of our third round of progress and success for today. Woo, I hope you had a good time. I hope you're learning new things, practicing some new skills, and giving yourselves avenues for growth, right? The more we learn, the more opportunity we have to sharpen different skills, and the better we'll be prepared for any given situation, not just in the ring or in competition, but out here in life. So until next time, I'll catch you same sack time, same sack channel, same sack life. Sackman out. Whew.